The world's elite are preparing. They are amassing fortunes, yes, but they are also building fortresses. Not castles of old, but hidden bunkers, stocked with supplies and technology. They are readying themselves for the event. This is not a scheduled conference or a product launch. It is a whisper in the corridors of power, a fear that haunts the dreams of those who have everything to lose. What exactly is this event? It is not a single catastrophe, but a spectrum of potential disasters. Each scenario is different, yet they share a common thread: the potential for societal collapse. The world as we know it, the world of order and predictability, could vanish. This is the nightmare that keeps billionaires awake at night. This is not science fiction. It is the driving force behind a growing trend. The ultra-wealthy are investing in escape plans. They are buying land in remote corners of the globe, constructing elaborate bunkers, and securing resources for a future where money may be meaningless. They are preparing for a world without rules, a world where survival is the only imperative. The event is not a single monolithic threat. It is a constellation of potential disasters, each capable of throwing the world into chaos. Pandemics, more virulent and deadly than anything we have seen before, are a real possibility. The COVID-19 pandemic offered a chilling glimpse into this possibility, exposing the fragility of our interconnected world. But biological threats are only one part of the equation. Technological disruptions pose an equally grave danger. Artificial intelligence, for all its promise, could spiral out of control. Imagine a world where machines surpass human intelligence, becoming self-aware and potentially hostile. This is not mere fantasy. It is a scenario that leading AI researchers are taking increasingly seriously. And then, there are the threats of our own making. Climate change, driven by our insatiable appetite for fossil fuels, is already wreaking havoc on the planet. Extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and mass displacements could trigger widespread conflict and instability. The very fabric of civilization could unravel under the strain. The potential triggers for the event are numerous and interconnected. A global pandemic could cripple economies, leading to social unrest and conflict. Climate change could exacerbate existing tensions, sparking resource wars and mass migrations. The collapse of one system could cascade into others, creating a domino effect that reshapes the geopolitical landscape. Faced with these existential threats, the world's billionaires are not sitting idly by. They are taking matters into their own hands, seeking refuge from the storms they see gathering on the horizon. Their strategy is twofold: distance and fortification. First, distance. They are buying up land in remote locations, far from the teeming cities and potential flashpoints of civilization. Vast ranches in Montana, secluded islands in the Pacific, even abandoned missile silos in the American heartland are being transformed into potential safe havens. These are not your typical vacation homes. They are chosen for their strategic locations, their self-sufficiency, and their ability to provide a buffer from the chaos that may engulf the outside world. They are islands in the storm, designed to weather the worst that humanity or nature can throw at them. One need only look at the actions of tech moguls like Peter Thiel. He has famously invested in New Zealand as a bolt hole from societal collapse, acquiring vast tracts of land and even obtaining citizenship. His actions, while extreme, are indicative of a broader trend among the ultra-wealthy, a desire to escape the perceived risks and instability of traditional centers of power. Distance is only the first line of defense. The truly prepared are going underground, literally. Luxury bunkers, once the domain of Cold War paranoia, are experiencing a resurgence. But these are not your grandfather's fallout shelters. Modern luxury bunkers are feats of engineering and design. They are buried deep beneath the earth, shielded from nuclear blasts, chemical attacks, and biological weapons. They are equipped with state-of-the-art air filtration systems, water purification plants, and enough food to sustain their inhabitants for years. These subterranean palaces are designed to provide not just survival, but a semblance of normalcy in the face of extraordinary circumstances. They feature amenities like swimming pools, movie theaters, and even simulated natural environments to combat the psychological toll of prolonged confinement. The cost of such bunkers can be astronomical, running into tens of millions of dollars for the most elaborate installations. But for those with unlimited resources, the price is a small price to pay for peace of mind in an increasingly uncertain world. Section 5. Echoes of Collapse. The billionaire bunker mentality might seem like an overreaction, the eccentric whims of the ultra-rich. But this trend is not happening in a vacuum. It is fueled by a growing sense of unease, a creeping awareness that the systems we rely upon are more fragile than we care to admit. The COVID-19 pandemic provided a stark reminder of this fragility. In a matter of weeks, the virus brought the global economy to its knees, exposed the shortcomings of healthcare systems worldwide, and triggered widespread social unrest. For many it was a wake-up call, a glimpse into a future where the veneer of civilization could be stripped away with frightening speed. It is no coincidence that the market for luxury bunkers and survival gear surged in the wake of the pandemic. The fear that gripped the world in 2020 has not fully subsided. If anything, it has seeped into the collective consciousness, fueling a desire for self-reliance and a growing distrust of traditional institutions. Section 6. The Silicon Valley Preppers. The prepper movement, once relegated to the fringes of society, is experiencing a surge in popularity, particularly among the tech elite. Silicon Valley, the epicenter of technological innovation, is also becoming a hub for survivalism. This is not entirely surprising. Tech entrepreneurs are accustomed to disrupting the status quo, to thinking outside the box, and to hedging their bets. They are also acutely aware of the potential downsides of the technologies they are creating. They understand that artificial intelligence, while holding immense promise, also carries the risk of unforeseen consequences. Figures like Elon Musk have spoken openly about the existential threat posed by AI, comparing it to summoning the demon. It is no wonder that some in Silicon Valley are taking steps to prepare for a future where technology may not be the solution, but part of the problem. Section 7. The Fragility of Trust. The billionaire bunker strategy, for all its elaborate preparations, rests on a fundamental flaw: the fragility of trust. These fortresses of solitude are designed to protect their inhabitants from the outside world, but what happens when the threat comes from within? Human beings are social creatures. We rely on each other for support, cooperation, and companionship. A bunker, no matter how luxurious, can quickly become a gilded cage, especially when occupied by individuals accustomed to a life of power and control. Who decides who gets in and who stays out? How are resources allocated in a confined space? How is power shared, or is it inevitable that hierarchies will reassert themselves even in the face of existential threats? These are not hypothetical questions, but fundamental challenges to the very notion of individual survival in a time of collective crisis. Section 8. Beyond Bunkers, a Vision for Resilience. The billionaire bunker phenomenon is a symptom of a deeper malaise. It reflects a loss of faith in our collective ability to solve the challenges facing humanity. It is a retreat into isolationism, a bet against the future of our species. But there is another way. Instead of investing in fortresses of fear, we can choose to invest in building a more resilient and equitable world. We can address the root causes of inequality, poverty, and conflict. We can transition to a sustainable future powered by renewable energy. We can invest in education, healthcare, and social safety nets that protect the most vulnerable among us. This is not a utopian dream, but a practical necessity. The challenges we face are interconnected and require collective action. Building a more resilient world is not just about surviving the event, but about creating a future where such events are less likely to occur in the first place. Section 9. A Shared Future. The billionaire bunker mentality is a dead end. It offers a false sense of security, a temporary reprieve from the storms that are gathering on the horizon. True security, true resilience, lies in recognizing our shared humanity, in understanding that our fates are intertwined. We can choose to build a world where everyone has a stake in the future, where no one feels the need to retreat into isolation and fear. We can choose to confront the challenges ahead with courage, compassion, and a commitment to collective action. The future is not predetermined. It is a choice we make every day through our actions, our values, and our commitment to creating a world worthy of our children and grandchildren. The choice is ours. Let us choose wisely.